What's up, JEFusion fans? This is Philip, and welcome back to another video. So I'm here at my workplace again, and I'm just actually taking advantage of my lunch break, and I'll be alone for another couple hours. And as you can see, I'm wearing a microphone right now because, again, in the previous video, I said that this place is kind of echoey. So at least you can hear me a bit clearer with the microphone on. So yeah, that's why I'm wearing this one. Now, I actually wanted to take this time to actually talk about Hiromi Kadota. And yes, he's back in the show. So, of course, we see him kind of exit a little bit in episode 21 or around that time, yeah. And of course, he has his own spin off, which is called Dear Gaga, which focuses on that time, in between episode 21 and until his return, I believe, in episode 33. So, yeah, now that he's back, what kind of role is he going to play? Now, I've actually watched a reaction from Leon Channel. So, if you guys don't know who Leon Channel is, he is a Japanese YouTuber who is pretty much known for his toy reviews and probably the most popular one at that. And he also does episode reviews. So, he checked out the official Kamen Rider Revise page, or the TVSI page for Kamen Rider Revise, and he said that it's actually unlikely that Hiromi is going to transform again. Now, you might be wondering why that is, and I do think that the possible reason is, having used the Demon's Driver when it was still quite dangerous to use. So, it it did quite some considerable damage to Hiromi's body that I think seeing him fight again would be very less likely. And I do think that Hiromi has already done his job as a Kamen Rider and as a hero. And I think it's fine, even though he doesn't, transform into a rider ever again. But like I said earlier, what kind of role is he going to play this time? Now, I do think that it's going to have to do a lot with Daiji. So, ever since Kamen Rider, uh, you know, demons appeared, so he's been some sort of a mentor to Daiji. Actually, even since like the earlier episodes, we already see Hiromi and Daiji in that kind of relationship. So I think what Hiromi is going to do this time is that he's going to keep Daiji on the right path. You see, recently we can see Daiji being quite obsessed with, eliminating all the evil that's in within Phoenix and trying to make it into a righteous organization. And because of his obsession with that, it actually put him in a lot of trouble recently. So trying to fix Phoenix from the inside apparently isn't going to work, especially with Daiji being a hothead and all, how he approaches all of this. So I think Hinomi is going to be there to keep Daiji grounded. So that for me is basically how Hiromi is going to play his role for the remainder of the series, and not necessarily requiring him to transform again into a Kamen Rider. So, I do understand that a lot of people are hoping for Hiromi to come back as Kamen Rider Demons, but we all know that the Demon's Driver is already currently in possession of Hikaru Ushijima, who is currently Kamen Rider over Demons. So yeah, he's the one using the Demon's Driver right now. So we do also see, George developing this mass-produced version of the Demon's Driver, which is, well, basically a safer version. And I guess a lot of people are also hoping that Hiromi would get one of these mass-produced Demon's Drivers. But again, his body has been internally damaged because of the use of the demon's driver when he was still Kamen Rider Demon. So again, even with a safer version, so to say, fighting is still going to pose a high risk to Hiromi's health and safety, and it would make sense for him not to fight any longer. So basically, to sum it up, he's going to be a moral compass for Daiji, and he's going to be that voice of reason to keep Daiji on the right path and not be so obsessed with trying to correct Phoenix from the inside, which is obviously putting him in a lot more danger than usual. So yeah, well, I am happy to see Hiromi back once again, and he, I believe he still can be a hero in his own way, even without fighting, and I think that was the point of Dear Gaga. So Hiromi learns what being a true hero is, even without fighting. And he learns things such as, it's okay to run away. And, it is also a kind of battle that requires a lot of courage. So, really, I still think Hiromi is the best boy in the series. Although he technically appears as the third rider uh, early on, but we all know that it's Sakura, really. And now that I mention it, so Sakura has quite an interesting position because she is kind of in a small way quite similar to Kamen Rider Gatak. So in Kamen Rider Kabuto, Kamen Rider the Bee appears second, right? So at least in order. So by technicality, Kamen Rider the Bee is the second rider to appear in Kamen Rider Kabuto. However, as a character in terms of the story and plot, so we see Kamen Rider Gatak treated as the secondary rider of the show. And even though, Sakura and Hiromi are, for all intents and purposes, the tertiary writers of Kamen Rider Revise, Hiromi does chronologically appear being the third Kamen Rider to appear in the show. But again, how the story treats Sakura, it appears that she is the tertiary writer of the show. So, anyways, that's just a small tidbit that I had in mind as well. But yeah, it's nice to see Hiromi again, and I do believe he's there to correct Daiji and help him stay on the right path. And fighting is no longer going to be in his agenda, basically. But, he has his own way of being a hero, which is kind of an interesting way to look at things. So, yeah, that's what I think of Hiromi's return. So, let me know in the comments what you think. So, as always, thank you so much for watching. And as always, please do leave a like, comment, share this video, subscribe, and don't forget that notification bell so you get the latest from JEFusion. This has been Philip, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!